I want to talk to you about what I learned from friends and clients and cousins and personal experience during COVID, and what are the lessons which are worth implementing. So, welcome to Subramani. I hope you're all subscribing and watching the videos till the end. So let me put it down maybe 10, 12, 13 points. I do not know. I mean, I'm going to do it, and if it turns out to be 10, it's great. If it turns out to be 9, it's great, right? So first is have a well-stocked fund for an emergency from where you can withdraw and be ready for things going wrong. Let us say I had a 25 lakh rupee emergency fund. Sounds very high because my expenses may not be that much. Maybe my annual expenses are 5 lakhs. So normally you're expected to have 2-3 lakhs as the emergency fund, not 25 lakhs. How would that have been useful? Well, one friend's father was admitted in hospital because of COVID. That cost him approximately 35 lakhs. That was at a time when his mother had to be left at home with a full-time attendant because she had dementia. So there was her medicines, his medicine, father's medicines, and this guy was not really the richest of people, but yes, he had enough liquidity to pay for all this. His wife was also earning, so both husband and wife must have spent close to 40 lakhs during this period. Partly something was reimbursed by the credit card, by the medical insurance company. He works in a very, very good, nice employer, so some part of the bill was borne by his employer, right? But assuming you're a self-employed person, like maybe you're a mutual fund distributor or a doctor or a lawyer, there is nobody who is going to do that for you. So having a very well-stocked emergency fund to be able to pay for big bills and for replacing things at home. Very many people have had to replace laptops, have had to replace phones, have had to buy newer equipment because everybody wants the phone and everybody wants the laptop because everybody is doing things online, right? So money for that, money for a conked air conditioner or a broken fridge, washing machine, right? So suddenly you require money for all this. So one, I never thought I would ever talk of such a big emergency fund, but that emergency fund was very useful for some people who had it, and those who did not have it, if they had an employer whom they could touch, it was great. If they did not have that, they have really suffered, right? So first thing is that. Then another piece of advice which I normally don't like to give is get out of debt as much as possible, if preferably completely. Especially if you do not know how long your job is going to last, and especially if you are a single earning person. Now what happens is when husband and wife both are earning, I don't think it will be so cruel that both of you would lose your jobs at the same time. But when you're one person salaried earning family, then when you lose your job, the debt can hurt you real bad. At what age can you get hurt? You never know. You can lose your job at 48, at 52, at 53, at 54, at any job, at any age. Sometimes when you lose your job at 53, it just means you retired 7 years earlier than what you thought you would. You may not be able to get a job elsewhere very easily. Some people are very optimistic, but that can be very hurtful. Third, very old and important lesson, don't have a concentrated risk. Now this happens when two brothers are working. One brother decides to quit his job, the other brother says, I will support you financially. He also puts in all his money, and when something goes wrong in the business, you find that both brothers have had a concentrated risk and both are up shit creek. Be very careful. Concentrated portfolios can be very hurtful, especially during difficult times like COVID. Right, I just heard about a guy whose company has gone to NCLT, and that's, which means more or less the end of the company, and he has taken his brother's money, his sister's money, and a big part of his father's money into it, and so that's it, end of the, I mean the family will find it very difficult to come out of it. Plan for an early retirement. Plan for a retirement at 55, 53, 52, because even though you may not want it, it may be thrust upon you. It may be involuntary that you retire at 53, so be prepared for retirement at 54 or 55, whatever it is. Press yourself very hard for an early retirement. You may not actually need to. Maybe you will work till 70, but be financially ready for retirement at a younger and an earlier age. As far as possible, try to create multiple income streams. If a husband and wife both can work, that is great. The wife giving up the job for whatever reasons doesn't make any sense unless the financial pieces are in place. If you've already created a retirement corpus and your wife wants to quit her job at 45, that still makes sense. But at a younger age to quit without having the jigsaw puzzle jigsaw puzzle pieces in place, you're taking a risk which is not worth it, right? Have enough insurance, but don't over insure yourself. Please understand whether the insurance companies will pay the claim or will they just talk about it. Make sure that the insurance that you have is good quality, from good companies, and not just from companies which tell you, oh, we will pay for existing illness. But better to stick to companies which you understand, which you have been there around for a long time. And please buy medical insurance only with the help of a consultant who is good, right? Be able to live on much less than what you earn. If you earn a lakh of rupees and you spend 5,000 rupees a month, that's brilliant, compared to the guy who is earning a lakh of rupees and spending 75,000, because he needs that 75,000 very badly. You need only 5,000. So which means if you earn for 1 month, you have next 20 months income, 20 months expenses in your hand. If you earn for 1 year, you have next 20 years expenses with you, right? So that's a huge advantage. You are far more stable than your counterpart who is spending maybe 15 times more than what you are spending. And there are such people. There are people who can run up 20,000 rupee monthly electricity bills, and there are people who can live on 1,000 rupees a month electricity bill, right? So end addictions to all the stuff which are expensive, right? Everything is addictive. Amazon Prime is addictive, Netflix is addictive, cable TV is addictive, eating in a 5-star hotel is addictive, foreign trips are addictive. So be careful. If you think you're getting addicted to something, have the guts to throw it out. And Amazon Prime or Netflix may not hurt you, but foreign trips and expensive clothes can hurt you. Sometimes when you don't have a job, even these things hurt you. Otherwise, when you have a job, expensive clothes don't hurt you, eating out doesn't hurt you. But suddenly you will find your kids saying, oh, last year we went to this country, why can't we go, right? Those kind of questions you will have to answer. That's not very easy and not very pleasant at many times. Always plan to do something which you love doing. If you love being with kids, think of starting a creche and running a nice creche, nice fees, and hoping to earn money. You should always earn money out of something that you love, because you'll always be able to find the ability to do that even in the hardest of times. If you've created multiple sources of income, 1 or 2 sources of income drying away is not a problem, right? If your children are in trouble and they want to come back home, make the rules very clear. Tell them that I know financially you're in difficult times, you don't have to pay rent, but you may have to throw in some physical effort. I'll pay your term insurance, I'll pay your medical insurance, I'll pay for your food, but I'll not pay for your luxuries, right? So make those rules very clear and tell them it's a temporary thing. I don't want you here permanently, go back to your house. But yes, I can afford to keep you here for a couple of months, a couple of years. That's not a financial burden on me, but yes, the rules are very clear. You're a guest, maybe for 3 years. That doesn't really matter. Get comfortable sharing your good fortune with the fellow countrymen. A lot of people, carpenters, electricians, tailors, have suffered far more than what we have suffered. So we are very lucky. So please have gratitude that we have not suffered as much as they have suffered. Complete your financial documentation very well. Make sure that your will is ready. Make sure that your children know where what is kept in terms of documentation, etc., what you have invested. They are going to find it very difficult if you leave these things in a mess. So make sure that they're named as nominees. is they named in the will, all that. Thank you.